DreAllDay.com.
Overseas basketball blueprint, balloverseas.com. I know I usually record outside, but it's a little bit too humid out there, so inside is much easier. So now I'm gonna give you volume 3 of the things that you should never do when you are playing basketball overseas. And this one is never not do something. So it's kind of like a double negative. And the thing is, never not practice hard. Do not ever, when you're playing pro basketball, specifically if you are playing in Europe, never loaf through a practice or half-ass through a practice, or maybe you're feeling like maybe a little bit fatigued, or you're injured, or you don't like that you didn't play a lot in the last game, or you're not getting along with your teammates, or the team hasn't paid you your money on time, or they didn't give you all your money on time. I've seen and been through all those situations. Do not half-ass through a practice. The reason why this is such an important issue is because when you're playing, specifically when you're playing in Europe, in different countries, other countries around the world, it could be different. I never played in Asia or Australia. I have been in Mexico. In Mexico, there's practice, but the practices they're not the same. That's all I can say about that. Anyone who's played in Mexico and played in Europe can attest to what I just said. But in Europe, practices are serious. They take that stuff serious, practicing every day. Sometimes you're practicing twice a day. Depending on the league you're playing in, you might not even have that many games, but you're practicing all the time. And the coaches take practice very seriously, the players as well, and the management as well. And sometimes management is coming to practice and looking at you practice, or they're at least hearing about what you're doing in practice or not doing, even if they're not around. And you are probably, if you're an import player, you're not from that country, you are probably, no, I'm not even gonna say probably. Sometimes, depending on the league, the level of the team, etc., you might be the biggest investment that team has made of everybody on the roster. So they're expecting you to set the example for everybody else. It's not even necessarily that you have to be the best player or score all the points or even be the person that everybody on the team listens to. Because listen, the players on your team might not even speak English, so they can't listen to you. But the team is expecting you to set an example, at least case scenario, through your effort, through the way that you show up every single day. And if you don't go hard in practice, coach might say something to you, call you out on it. A teammate may say something, management may approach you, and that's a good thing if they say something to you. The worst thing is if they don't say anything, and then you find yourself out of a contract, out of a job, sitting on a bench, not playing. Your agent is reaching out to you like, yo, the team is concerned about you, what's going on? And you're like, what are you talking about? The team didn't say anything to me, but they called your agent and let your agent know that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Or they might just drop you, release you from your contract, and you don't even know why, because you weren't going hard in practice every day. Once I was in Europe, I was in Montenegro once, and the gym that we practiced in was a brand new gym. They had just built this gym in the off season before I was on the team. So it's a brand new facility. So you expect a brand new facility to be perfect, right? Well, this facility had no heat. There was no heat in the gym. And I remember one day we're practicing, it's like maybe February, January, something like this. And it starts to get cold. Now, where I was playing at in Montenegro, we were right on the Bay of Kotor. So when you're on water, I mean, I'm not a scientist, so geologist, or what do they call them? People who predict the weather. I forget their names, but those people, I'm not one of them. So don't hold me to this to be perfect. But usually when you're on the water, the temperature is more moderate. So it wasn't super cold, even though it was wintertime. It was like 50 degrees, 55, something like that. But 50 to 55 degrees is not super cold for the winter, but imagine playing basketball in 55 degree weather. Even if it's inside, if it's 55 degrees outside and you're inside with no heat, it's pretty damn cold in that building. You're trying to play basketball, that's not going to be very comfortable. So we were practicing in these type of conditions every single day. And the coach would wear this big ass, long ass coat every day. I've never seen this dude without a coat on. He always had that coat on because the gym was always freezing cold. The players told me before my first practice, was like, yo, bring like a sweater or something with you to the gym because the gym is sometimes cold in the winter. And we at the facility and we're practicing. I'm looking at my teammates and asking them, the couple of them who spoke English, I'm like, yo, ain't this a brand new gym? And they said, yeah. I said, well, why doesn't it have any heat? And any of you who has played in a foreign country, you're an American player, y'all know how to answer. They just shrugged. They just gave me the Kanye shrug. Like, hey, this is just how it is. So us Americans coming from, when we talk about facilities and things like that, coming from where we come in the United States, we pretty much get everything exactly how we want it. If you want it cold in your house, like right now, I got the AC on because it's hot outside. Or if it's cold outside, you want it hot inside, you can turn the heat on. Or if you want something to eat, you call Uber Eats. Or if you want to get some food, you can, well, I just said that. Anything that you want to do, you can pretty much do it however you want, whenever you want. We got these devices that we can just dial up whatever kind of lifestyle that we want to live at any given time. That's the way that we're born and raised in America. We pretty much get things when we want it, how we want it. And it doesn't matter why we want it. Whereas in many of these other countries, it's not like that. Now, you pretty much get it however it's set up. And if it's not set up to your liking, you either figure out a way to deal with it or you can go home. It's one or the other. And that's pretty much how it was there. And they just shrugged their shoulders like, this is just how it is, right? This is what we've come to be conditioned to expect. And I'm like, how y'all got a brand new gym with no heat? This makes no sense. I even said to the coach, like, yo, why is there no heat? I said to management, why is there no heat? And everybody's answer was the Kanye shoulder shrug. Nobody knew. And so one day in practice, anyway, to finish my story, we're doing like a shell drill on defense. If you don't know what a shell drill is, if you're trying to play overseas, you probably know what a shell drill is. Basically a defensive drill. So we're doing a drill, and I was conserving my energy because the last thing I wanted to do was pull a groin muscle or a hamstring or something like that, trying to slide too quickly when my body was not warm. I was not warm because the gym was so damn cold. And the coach is noticing, obviously he's noticing me over everybody else. He doesn't speak English. He says to one of my teammates who spoke both languages, hey, let him know, he's not going hard enough. And the player said to me, Dre, the coach said, you need to go harder in this drill. And I'm like, it's cold as a motherfucker here. That's my answer. I said it out loud. I said, it's cold as a motherfucker. And everybody laughed, even though a lot of my teammates didn't even speak English because they understand all the American curse words. They might not know the regular stuff, but anytime you say a cuss word in American, they know exactly what you're saying. So when I said that, everybody laughed. And the coach said, hey, look, everybody else is cold too, and they got to go hard in the drill, so you got to go hard in the drill. So then I had to go hard in the drill, or at least I had to pretend to. But one mistake that any player can make, and luckily the coach said something to me, but a mistake players can make is to not go hard in practice because you think, well, Allen Iverson voice, we talking about practice. Understand, you ain't Allen Iverson. If you're playing overseas, you ain't Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was in the NBA. Now, he did play overseas, but that was only after he was pretty much done. But when he was in the NBA, that's when he said the practice thing, he won the MVP the next year. So do not confuse yourself with him. I don't care how many points you average in overseas. Remember that you're still overseas. Is that over there, every practice is kind of like as serious as a game, especially for American players. I think I've said this before. So make sure that you are showing up every single day and going hard. Because if you don't, I already told you what might happen to you. Now, those of you who are listening to this show on a podcast app, I guess Apple Podcasts would be the one where you can leave a review. Please leave a review and a rating of the show. Like, type something in there. Let people know. I'm putting this stuff out for free. So just let people know the value of the show, what you're getting from it. Are you getting knowledge? Is it giving you things that you hadn't thought of before? Is it helping you, save you some time, giving you some insight into the overseas world? If I'm doing that, please leave a review. And that's the way for number one, you can let your friends and other people know, ball players who are looking for information. Because we know when it comes to overseas ball, there's not a lot of information out there. Not a lot of useful information out there. I feel like I'm putting out a lot of it. I feel like I put out probably the most of anybody. So leave a review. Let your friends know that this show is very valuable. And another thing it does, it lets us know that we're actually putting out useful stuff. So we'll keep doing it. And another thing it does is let the podcasting platforms, Apple, Spotify, whatever, lets them know, hey, this is a show that y'all should be showing people and letting people know about because people are getting value. But if you don't leave a review, they wouldn't know that. So please leave a review of the show. Let people know the value of it. If you haven't yet gotten your free copy of the book, The Overseas Basketball Blueprint, which I have right here in front of me, I'm holding it up on video if you're watching on video. If you're on audio, just go to balloverseas.com. If you're on video, go to balloverseas.com. The link is in the description no matter where you're at. This book is already paid for. All you do is cover a small shipping charge, 237 pages, everything you need to know to get started playing professional basketball. There are players who have played in the G League, players playing in the Euro League right now, players playing overseas right now, players playing college basketball right now who have read this book and gotten value from it to get all the information you need to know exactly what to do to get started playing pro basketball overseas right now. That's balloverseas.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.